Here you go, 1212. We on it. That was the intro, as always promised. Here's my pretty face, as always promised as well. So my bro here, he wanted to go live at 11:11. We went live at 12:12. That's kind of dope. I'm gonna do the Who Are We EP today, part 2. And it's gonna be real powerful build. I'm gonna show everyone I'm gonna show everyone who we are. You tell me. You tell me. Gotta get my handy.
Dang, bro, I'm over here. I'm listening to two things at once. It's so crazy. I'm listening to you talk, and I'm listening to you talk again on the other video.
How? You know why though? That's because it has to beam up to the sun and then come back down to your ears. Because it's really just you talking to you, but to perceive it differently, it has to come out of me, hit the sun, hit you. If not, it would be just straightforward. Of course, there's a delay because it has to travel that far. I mean, if you were me, it'd be that quick. You know, because there's no delay when I hear myself talk.
True that. Now, I was trying to watch that video. It won't let me watch it and let it be on mute for some odd reason. It's weird.
That's crazy. Well, the funny thing is, dude, I have this all written down right here perfectly, bro. Perfectly. It's for the world. I did it.
Really?
I did it honestly, premeditated for the world. It's probably a book or some shit, and this is just me mapping out the book out loud. Like, this is probably the lecture for the book. Everyone's getting the free book. So, who are we?
I feel like anytime we talk, people getting free book.
No doubt.
We always coming up on some crazy dope shit, bro.
Crazy dope. So, I got my obsidian. Oh wait, where the fuck is my obsidian? Hold on.
Bro, speaking of obsidian, a dude was generating electricity with amethyst on this YouTube video I was watching the other day.
Oh yeah, we was just talking about that. Shit.
Did you see that video I sent you on Instagram with that guy generating electricity with that quartz crystal?
When did you send me that?
Last night.
Shit, I ain't see it. I did not check for it.
It's an old video. I think I might have sent it to you before, but I sent it to you again because the dude was saying just in case motherfuckers ask why I be rocking my crystal.
Yeah.
No, I think he said just in case motherfuckers ask you why you be rocking crystals. Yeah. He called himself the Hood Shaman.
Yo, yeah. I think that dude's on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram. Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Word. He a fly motherfucker with it.
Yeah, he alright, yeah. He cool. He
ain't fly than you with it though.
Don't he got tats on his face?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who it is. He cool. Alright, so look, let's jump right in. Boom. That was, I think in Western culture, you're supposed to give like a good 5 minutes of bullshit and then just play talk before you get serious, you know? You know when you talk.
Did we do that?
Yeah, like when you go to your teacher, when you go into class, usually your teacher kind of laughs and talks before he really gets into it. So that was that. And it was normal, it's natural. But stepping right into it, who are we, man? Who are you? Who am I? And who are we together? Now, last time I showed everyone, we are, not to get political, but we are the United States. You know why?
Yeah.
The reason is not to say that we are that government that calls themselves the United States of America. It's because if you look at the word state, you'll see that a state is a circumstance or a condition at any given time, and your body is in some condition at any given time. You see, so you are a state. You're always in a state, you know. And to make your state united, what do? You unite your mind, body, and soul. Your mind controls your body, and your soul is the inhabitor of your vessel. You know, your soul is your spark, your spirit. So you are a united state yourself. Together, you and I are United States. And where are we? In America. So by default.
Goddamn.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's who we are, right? And then moving forward, part 2, I wanted to talk to you about, you know, the word federal just means states coming together. That's what the United States is. Me and you together by law makes that federal. It's like when you put 2 circles together, bro. And what does it make? It makes a vesica Pisces in the middle, right? A parallelogram, they call it. So when you put 2 circles together and it makes that third little orb in the middle that you can parallelogram it with, that's the third party that we call federal. When 2 states come together and there's a third meeting point in the middle, 2 or more states, really, when they come together in that third middle point in that cross point of it all is what federal is. It's not an actual thing. It's a term, literally a term expressing just the nature of law. You see? So when people say, oh, the federal government, no. They just work for the people we appointed to take care of the whole states. You see, and it's like, oh, I work for the state, or I work for the federal government. Yeah, you work for like maybe the Library of Congress, which takes all of the state's info and keeps it. That's what a federal employee is. They work for a place that takes all the state's info together, where a state employee would do what? Take all the state's info and give it to the federal The people that take all the states' info and make it, the United States info.
It's so funny we talking about this because I was just talking to somebody about this, something similar, just dealing with this the other day.
Okay.
And it was like the government shut down. Now I'm like, well, the police out there, there's like, that's the difference between government and state.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man.
Yep.
I'm like, shit, well, they all won technically, you know what I mean? But
the government is not ever shut down. That's the stupidest term ever. You know why? You and I are a government, and that's why we're doing this EP. We're killing all the radical, stupid speeches. We're going on law. We're going back to truth. You see, we're not doing... If we want to be truly radical, let's just stop doing what everyone else is doing, even if they want to be so far from even if everyone says fuck the man and they want to go do what the man's not doing, let's even think about what they're doing too. I'm not doing what everyone's doing just because it's what everyone's doing, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's like, yes, we know that we know we're being kept down and the boot is on our neck, but we're not playing no stupid game where we're saying fuck the government. You're a government. Your mind governs your body. Mm-hmm. Point blank. I rose today. You know, the sun governs the land. When the sun hits a tree, it makes a fucking apple if it gets enough rain and water. So that's a government. Why would I say fuck the government? I like life. Life is a government. So now the United States Corporation, which pays people to work for it, that's not a government. That's a corporation. That's a job. That's someone's job. Mm-hmm. That's someone's fucking job in a building. That someone runs and other people run that person, and it's a business. That's not a government. Within that business, what? You got like the business statutes and all the things that people that work for the business have to do. And then we get into the people that the business own. That United States corporation owns human beings. Now, the human beings only are owned by the way of agreeing to it because their parents didn't know what they did when they were born. When we were all born, our parents just signed this thing that we thought was something else. And then what happened? You know, we always agreed to being that because we thought it was something else our whole lives. Even our parents keep thinking it's something else, but the birth certificate is not what we think it is. You see?
Right.
So we are the government. That is a corporation business that owns us by way of our agreement with it. Let me say this as well, bro. Like I say, you can't be a citizen of the state and not know the law. You see? You would just only be a ward of the state if you don't know the law, because then the state has to take care of you. If we're the state, a state is a condition. Condition of what? A being or a thing. That's in the dictionary. I'm reading it with you. So it's like, all right, if it's the condition of a being or a thing, that's what a state is. We're not talking about no land, because the land is the land, but the state is all of us thinking the same way on the land. That's the condition of the land. That's what the state is. So, you know, we just got to clear up people's concepts of what things are so we can really realize who we are in the mix of it all.
And the power. Once you realize who you are, you realize the power that you have,
realize
bro.
The power that you have once you realize who you are. Thank you, bro. Thank you. So, here we go. I got this all written up. I wish the screen share was working. It's not working for some dumb reason. But in Ray Bollins, 1912, 135. What's that? I guess that's the Northwest Law Reporter, 164. It says every taxpayer is a SESTQ trust. What is a SESTQ trust? Well, there was something called the SESTQV Act of 1666, right?
Right.
I'm about to show you this timeline real quick. Where's 1666? Man, I got timelines on timelines. At one point I was just going through his timeline, fucking masquerade. I just couldn't stop doing time. So the SQV Act happened in 1666, and that was like to pull people into a Christian property. You know what I'm saying? Like they created that really for like so-called African slaves. I mean, we're all African because this was all one, and Africa is the biggest continent of it all. So we must be all derived from Africa. You know, all the continents must be parts of that one big continent. So all I'm saying is that, you know, when they start enslaving the Africans on this land called America, yeah, bro, they made the SQV Act so that we could be turned into chattel. You know what I mean? So that they made a trust for that estate, for that business. You know what I'm saying? So every taxpayer, when you're born, your parents put you in an all capital name. You already know. It's a transmitting utilities. A transmitting utilities is so that you can, you know what I'm saying, so that thing can be transmitted. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a utility for transmitting. That's what a transmitting utility is. I don't know how to say it any more simple. What is it? You know, transmitting is, you know, or a utility is like, come on. So a citizen of the U.S. is a dead entity under the 14th Amendment SQ Trust of U.S. Incorporation, which upholds the debt of the United States and United States Incorporation. That's the congressional record, Mike G. June 13th, 1967, page 15641 to 15646. Did you just hear what that shit just said, my G? That shit said, that said as a U.S. citizen is a civilly dead entity under the 14th Amendment, SQV Trust of the United States, Inc., which upholds the debt of the United States. And that's in the congressional damn record. And these people don't even know this, bro. And they want to act like we're radical, but this shit is literally in the Congress records stuff, and it's called the congressional record. This is public for everyone. And that's why we're doing Who Are We? So that I can say, hey guys, have you ever wondered who you are? Looked into it? And then you found some shit out, like on the congressional records from Congress that says the United States citizens are civilly dead entities under the 14th Amendment. So is this why Kanye West was talking about 14th Amendment shit a year ago and everyone was laughing at him? See what I'm saying? Yeah. But that's because people are dumb. That's because people are fucking misguided and they don't read. These people don't know how to read. They go to work every day and they don't know how to work. They don't know how to read. That's why they want us to be in that money race for things like food that we all need just because we're alive. Like my mother pulled out of her titty when I was hungry, when I was born. That shows you that you have enough when you're born. Why should we be struggling every day after that? See? You know, the world grows things like cauliflower and even corn, even GMO foods are grown on the land. So why are we paying for even the natural foods that don't even have to be GMO'd and grown? Damn.
Right.
Apples and shit.
And they got it set up to where, bro, if you, okay, when it comes to the GMOs, the farmers that grow their food, right? If they say your shit is like maybe a few miles down from the GMO fields, if any of their shit blow over, like seeds pollinate your shit, right? And they shit start growing on your land, they sue you, bro, and they can take your shit.
Man, listen. They can kiss my ass because this is my ancestors' estate. All the way from Canada down to Chile. So, and then if you really want to get into it, the whole world, because I was born on the earth, and so this is all ours, period. Can't nobody tell me this is mine's over here and this is yours over here, and if you pay for it, you can get this little cut. I don't want to hear that. So, but that's we all need to have that train of thought so that I'm not the only one looking crazy saying, hey man, I'm not fucking paying for land. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Every single human being on earth needs to say that shit. Because every single human being on earth needs to realize, wow, I was born. That means I was entitled by birth to have a place on earth. Period.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's keep going. Not a place. And if you get a piece of land, make it as nice as you can. Make it as nice as can be. I'm not saying everyone should be entitled to a fucking mansion. You should be entitled to a little plot, and you can do with it what you will. Make it filthy. You can make it running into the ground if you want, or you can make it the best place on earth. But that's up to you. That's the free will. All right, so let's keep going. Who are we? Are you ready for this?
I'm always ready to know who I am.
You ready to know who you are and who I am so we can know who we are?
Mm-hmm.
Because we already went in. Like, it's been 20 minutes and there's already been grand opening, grand closing. I could end it right now. Everybody got the message. No, I'm gonna keep going. All right, bet. A free Negro of the African race. Mind you, I'm just going down a list of, this is a list of standing law cases, okay? Standing law cases to tell me who I am. And I'm just reading it on camera to let anyone that identifies, that looks like me, that just looks like me. This is probably who you are, bro. You see what I'm saying? It's not about feelings. It's about who you probably are, just off of the strength of you being on this land and this complexion. And then we're gonna get deeper into bloodline, okay? But first, how about just off appearance, right? Straight off appearance. It says a free Negro of the African race is not a citizen, quote unquote, within the meaning of the Constitution of the United States. Since the adoption of the U.S. Constitution, no state can make a foreigner or any other description of persons, they can make them citizens of the United States. So no one can make someone that's foreign a citizen of the United States. Is what I'm saying. Like, no state can do that. It would have to be done through the federal government, which is the collection of the states, so that they can allow all the states to know that you are a citizen of the collection. Anyway, what I'm saying is that no free Negro can even be one of those. Damn. You know why? Because that was a Supreme Court hearing. And you know, Supreme Court law stands in every court. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's federal law and Supreme Court cases apply to state court cases. Howlett versus Rose, 496 United States. So that is another standing law case that says that Supreme Court cases apply to all court cases, because that's federal law, the law of all of the states. Federal is a term.
Just listen to it, Supreme.
Exactly, it's supreme. Now that was a Supreme Court case. That's Dred Scott. You see, Dred Scott they call my locks dreads. Dred Scott versus Stanford, 6-0 U.S. 393 Supreme Court. That's in 1857. If anyone wants to look that up. So, a free Negro of the African race cannot be a citizen. It says that in the Supreme Court, right there. And then you want to know what's funny? That was in 1857, so you want to say, oh, that was back then. They maybe made something new now. Yeah, it's called the 14th Amendment. Now, if you want to be a U.S. citizen, even if you are a free Negro, a U.S. citizen is a civilly dead entity under the 14th Amendment. That's the congressional record of 1967. That just happened yesterday, my G. Nah, y'all don't hear me.
They ain't ready for that.
They not.
Listen, bro.
They not like, what's up, bro? I mean, I'm really trying
to
build.
What you trying to tell them right now is you trying to tell them the same thing I was trying to tell them. Everybody gonna be mad at themselves for being mad at Kanye for talking about this shit.
Listen, everyone is gonna call me crazy when I'm literally just reading what's in. This is all public record. This is not even like, I didn't go fishing for this. I didn't like, this is public.
The Freedom of Information Act, bro. People don't even know about that.
Freedom of Information Act, right? Like, we need the world to just start looking and reading more instead of just scrolling on Instagram and going to work, coming home, and we need some type of, if you don't have any other passion, at least wonder who you are and how you should operate on this earth. How the earth operates and how you work in it. That's all I want to know. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, how am I getting through this life? Because I was just born yesterday, bro. I don't even have to be a genius to know that I was literally just born. The earth has been around for millions of years, and I was just born 20-something years ago, bro. So, who the fuck am I? Who are you, and who are we, and how do we get through? And now I find out that a free Negro of the African race, I'm free. I guess they call my bone structure Negroid, right? I think that's what they call it. And then the whole world is Africa, so I am of the African race. I mean, human, we're all the same. Is not a U.S. citizen, but that was in 1857. But then in 1967, the Congress said that a U.S. citizen is civilly dead. Okay, so moving on. Matter of fact, let me get a little bit into this Dred Scott case real quick, bro. You know why? Because it's a really powerful case. It's probably the most powerful case as far as who we are. Because this goes into why we shouldn't call ourselves blacks. You know why? I'm gonna read this. Unhappy black. This is literally on the record. I'm reading this, quoting this from the Supreme Court, my bro, in 1857. Dred Scott versus Stanford. It says, unhappy blacks were separated by undeniable marks and laws long before standing established, and were never thought of or spoken of except for as property. So blacks never were thought of or spoken of in history except for property. That's because nothing. Hold on, let's keep going. It also says here, not any part of civilized world embraced the Negro by common consent. Because you call yourself black and no one has ever, every black ever, even if it was a white person, we called them black when they were a slave. Black is a slave term. White is the term of the gods. So stop.
I'm glad you say that. It's so funny.
So it says,
hey, please.
It says, not any part of civilized world embraced the Negro by common consent, because we call ourselves black, and nobody has respect for blacks, because unhappy blacks were separated by indelible marks and or indelible marks and laws long before standing. These are laws long before standing. These are long established laws. We probably made them laws, bro.
True that.
Before we even fell as a society of dark-skinned people on Earth to the Christian powers. Now, Christian isn't whose God is better. It was a literal army of fucking crusaders that were claiming Christianity, but they were not of Christ. They were of the Niceno-Constantinople Creed. I'm saying it slowly so everyone can get it, because I said it fast. I say it fast sometimes. So, anyways, by common consent, it has been excluded from civilized governments and family of nations and doomed to slavery. Let me say that again. Not any part of civilized world embraced the Negro by common consent and has been excluded from civilized governments and family of nations, and they have been doomed to slavery. What the fuck? This is in Supreme Court, bro. This is in the fucking Supreme Court, bro. They don't. And this is why I'm so dead ass. Like, people think I'm joking, but I'm super super dead ass. When I talk, I'm like, oh, this is dead ass. And they're like, why do you care if we say black or white? I'm like, well, you don't call me that, and please don't call anyone I love motherfucking black. I will not be happy with you. You feel me? Because I know what it says in the Supreme Court law, bro. It says right here that blacks were separated and with law, you know what I'm saying, and never thought of or spoken of as anything but slaves, as property. I don't do no stupid shit. Alright, so let's keep going. Who are we? Alright. Here we go. Ooh. So here's the, you know that coffin? Here's a nail for it, right? There are, however, numerous treaties. I'm reading this from Citizen of the United States Expatriation and Protection Abroad letter from the Secretary of State, 59th Congress, 2nd Session, House of Representatives, document number 326, page 459, 460. So that's for the record. I'm literally reading this quote unquote from the Citizen of Expatriation and Protection Abroad letter from the Secretary of State. Alright. There are, however, because I just showed you who blacks were. Not any civilized world embraced the Negro by common consent, calling themselves black. You can be Negro because I think that's a bone structure, my G. But black is a color and the legal status of slaves. Black is a crayon in the legal status of property. It always has been. It's long established. What the hell is this? I guess it's a new growth. Alright. There are, however, numerous treaties and conventions between the various Christian countries and the Moorish Empire, by means of which citizenship in this country is defined. All persons residing in Morocco who can't prove as Moorish subjects. Oh, wait. All citizens in Morocco who can't prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure, which means by mere fact of law, by mere nature of law, they're considered Moorish subjects. So they have to prove we're not Moorish Empire. They have to prove we're not Moorish. Just by mere fact alone. That's how the citizenship, if you embrace the treaty that they have here with the Moorish Empire, they have to prove that you're not even a Moorish subject. You're Moorish. So that's to show you that by your consent of calling yourself black, you consent to that Supreme Court from Dred Scott in versus Stanford in 1857 when he says, unhappy blacks were separated by indelible marks and laws long before standing and were never thought of or spoken of except for as property. So you say, oh yeah, I'm black, or you say, oh yeah, they got you on that birth certificate your parents did. Your birth certificate your parents did. It's not yours, it's for you that your parents did. You don't have to agree to it because on it says black. Black is a slave by law. There are, however, various treaties and conventions between the numerous countries, Christian countries, in the Moorish Empire. I'm reading this, remember? By means citizenship in this country is defined. All persons residing in Morocco who can't prove foreign citizenship or protection are considered ipso jure by mere operation of law itself, as Moorish. I'll keep going though. I'm reading the same thing. It says more subjects lost their nationality only by becoming naturalized in or protected by another country having treaty relations with the Moorish Empire. So the only way we even lost our nationality, it says it right here, was by being naturalized, protected by another country that has treaty relations. So they already had their treaty with us, and then we naturalized with them, and we lost our nationality. So that shows you that even first we had to have a collection of something together with them for them to even fuck with us in the first place. You see? But by us being stupid and by us not knowing law over time, we then lose track of what we call ourselves, and who knows what people be thinking. I don't know. Like, I don't think like them. So this should be contemplated seriously. Residence in foreign parts does not affect the nationality of Moorish subjects. It says, I'm going to keep going. This should not, I'm going to read it again. This should not be contemplated, this should be contemplated seriously. Moorish residence in forest parts does not affect their nationality. So if we're in foreign parts, it doesn't affect our nationality. So you want to say, you just said Morocco. Yeah, well, if you're not under the consciousness that America is the Moroccan Empire that used to be, that still is, just conquered. But if you don't know that, you can say, well, this is America, this is Morocco. Yeah, well, it just even still says that contemplated seriously residence in foreign parts does not affect their nationality. So I could be in fucking Haiti I could be in China for all that matters. You see, it doesn't affect my nationality. And I should be considered ipso jure Moorish, as Moorish, by law. Boom. And that's from the Citizen of the United States Expatriation and Protection Abroad letter from the Secretary of State, 59th Congress. So, nail me coffin, bro. Who are we, bro? Who are we, bro? We not black, dude. Right there, in law. Says it. Says it.
It does.
And it says we're not United States citizens. It says we can't be. It says the Negro, a free Negro of an African race, is not a citizen within the meaning of the Constitution. So that's even from the beginning of the United States. We were never meant to be. And it says, since the adoption of the Constitution, no state can make a foreigner or any other description of persons citizens of the United States. And even if we could be United States citizens, citizens of the United States are civilly dead under the 14th Amendment. So get the fuck out of here. Where are we? Who are we? Oh, we're Moorish empires. We're the Moorish Empire. You know what that abbreviates to? M-E. Me, bro. I'm me, bro. You're me. You're part of me. You're part of me, bro. You're part of Moorish Empire, bro. So, I got that from a shorty online. She said that shit, and I was like, girl, you snapped. Infinity Red, I think that was her name. So, let me keep going. Ex parte Frank Knowles, 5 California representatives, 300. Alright. It might be correctly said that there is no such thing as United States citizens. A citizen of one of the states of the Union is held to be called one, although technically and abstractly there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a United States citizen, bro. In law, bro. So, who are we, bro? We are the United States.
Wow. We're not
so
people out here screaming they're United States citizens, there's no such thing, huh?
They don't know what they're talking about. They're just saying what they've heard people say their whole lives. Oh, I'm a United States citizen.
Let me ask you this then.
Huh?
So if there's no such thing as a United States citizen, then how can there ever be a Declaration of Independence?
The Declaration of Independence was done by the people. It was never done by no one claiming to be a United States citizen. It was done by the states. It was done by citizens of the states. You see what I'm saying?
But if there's no citizens, then who did it?
Haha. Well, I think that no one did it. No United States citizen made the Declaration of Independence. Only states of the Union did it. Only the Union states did it. Citizens of the states did it.
There you go.
That's two different things. They think a United States citizen and a citizen of the state is the same thing. No, I didn't say that.
It's not the same thing. I know.
Everyone is so dumb. Everyone's so smart, they're dumb. They think when you say something backwards a different way, you're saying the same thing. No, motherfucker, I said two different things. Like, did you hear what I said? What I meant when I said, when I said what I said, when I meant what I said? Like, I said a state citizen or a United States citizen. Two different things. Citizen of the state is a Texan citizen. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because you are on that land. It's not the territory, it's the land. Okay? And you are in the state of that government, the people that live there, you, your neighbor, your building, your local street. That just makes it grows and makes something that it's just called something else, but it really is just people living together. It's a government.
Mm-hmm.
You give money here, the money goes to that. It just keeps everything in that little small town growing, and that's a government. They elect people to oversee, like, that live there, and then they work for the government of the state, and then they work for the federal government. It just is a collection of ideas, and that's what a state is. It's a condition, a state of mind, a state of being. It's not the land. That's two different things. Now, when you're claiming to be a citizen of the United States, that's a corporation business. That can't have people from it. It can only have employees, you silly goose. People have to get their minds really together. It's really simple, but they just have never thought of it so simply. You know, they thought it was so simple, but that was all lies. The truth is way more simpler. It just doesn't make sense. Like, wait, I thought it was no. That's a whole business. That's a business that people work for. You cannot be from that. Now, that's to say that you can be a citizen of the state, but you can't be a Texan. You can't be a Texas citizen, or because why? That would make that that can't be your nationality. A Texan or a Marylander or a New Yorker. You can't be a New Yorker. New York doesn't have children. New York isn't a family line. Isn't a bloodline. It's not. It's a place. You can be a citizen. You can be a citizen of that state, that collective organization of people, political body. You see, and that's why we're doing the Who Are We, so we can get a clear over an understanding of what law is, who we are, how we govern ourselves, how we collectively govern our society. So maybe we can get a better society with our children if we just get it right with our people. We can get our children together, you know? Get the women on it. The women is the first teachers. We need to get babies in the womb growing while the women is thinking like this. Do you imagine the kind of child that come out?
That's probably why the kids be so good on technology, because a lot of people spend so much time on their phone.
While they pregnant. The kids come out ready to hit the buttons. It's programmed in them. So, and that's why people be liking the same foods as your mother was eating or drinking or whatever when she was, So, and that's why motherfuckers come out stupid too. So here we go.
Bro, on my mama, bro, I already had a theory like that, though, bro. Whatever mindset that you're in when you motherfucker make a baby, it's a man or a woman. That's the same energy your baby is going to have, bro, when it's born. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they come out, it's going to be all over that shit.
Like babies born when they're...
Because my son, he was drawing good at 5, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And during the time his mom was pregnant, like, bro, I was really, like, finding myself deeper on some spiritual, artistic type. You know what I'm saying? It was getting deeper for me.
Right.
I met you after all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
That shit crazy, bro.
Bro, these people need to just read something, bro. But you know what's funny? It's okay, because not everybody is willing to do this research, or yeah, it's research honestly, because a lot of it I have just been on my path and curious, and I've seen what other people have been studying, and I research their studies. They lead me down a path, and I research. A lot of this isn't my
Mm-hmm.
total findings. I mean, I could tell you who I study under. You know what I'm saying? Like the Rise of the Moors Bulls. You know what I'm saying? My boy Jamal. Taj is the bull, obviously. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just I like facts, and I go and I even look at the white peeps that be well, so-called white peeps, the Caucasian motherfuckers that be doing the whole, they're like white people that are fed up with the government. They're United States government, the corporation, and they're like trying to figure out what's going on with it. And I be looking at their shit and like, they got it together. They just, I don't know if they know the whole truth, or if they just be like holding the truth back from a lot of their peeps so that they don't all know the whole truth. I don't know, because they be like, it's mum's the word. It's like I be seeing them tiptoe around the truth and shit, and I be like this dude David Wynn Miller, bro. He's a crazy. That's the quantum grammar, bro. Remember him, bro?
Mm-hmm.
He is wild and he's super smart. I know he know the truth. He just be tiptoeing around it, on some Mason shit. So
Yeah, I don't honor that shit, bro. All information should be shared
should be
with the
fucking
collective.
shared with the collective. All the info.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, damn, bro, we can't know the info, but then how's that? Y'all got certain people that know it, though. You know what I'm saying? If it's a problem that can't be solved, bro, you know what I'm saying? Get some other people to solve the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, I was hearing something where the government was saying that we got a bunch of stuff coming up. You know what I'm saying? Like earthquakes. There's been a lot of like solar storms on the sun and shit like that, and that affects our weather, and it affects it affects earthquakes and stuff like that. But it's so crazy because it's like, bro, they's like, oh, well, we just found this new tomb in the pyramids and nobody can get in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, they really feel like the energy that's coming from these things, right, that the Egyptians have made, can stop the stuff that's coming. I was seeing some stuff they was talking about that, and it's like, okay, well, now y'all take it upon yourselves not to tell nobody, right? So who's to say the people that y'all not telling is the people that probably can activate the shit? You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's exactly
that
what it
can
is.
Stop planetary devastation and shit like that, though.
I think that they want to like get a little bit of the knowledge out, so it looks like they're trying to get knowledge out. Like it looks like there's free flow of knowledge.
That's
like,
they say they do with movies.
Yeah, like just and even all those people that they let tell the truth, like a lot of them are just maybe even agents that are just telling a little bit of the truth so that people think that there's some truth coming out.
They only tell enough so they don't get their ass in no hot water for real.
Shit.
That's why I feel like they let them niggas live for real on some real shit, bro.
But they also telling enough so that the people think that they're getting fed info, but the people aren't getting the whole info. They're just getting enough.
I feel like the stuff that they telling us now is the stuff they found out back doing like Roswell and shit like that.
They found this out years ago, and they leak it slowly through little agents that stand up, like Martin Luther King, man. Like they been knew about this Moorish shit. This was that Dred Scott shit was in 1857. So why would motherfucking Martin Luther King stand up in 1957 and 1950s and shit talking about we American citizens, we want rights. He was pushing the 14th Amendment, but so he wanted us to get the under the civil rights and shit. But then we get these now we get the civilly dead entity under the 14th Amendment. So Martin Luther King didn't even do what he set out to do the whole time. I mean, I guess the integration, but like that was the whole front. Yeah, integration. Yeah, everybody should be together. Yeah, it's just normal. Why should people be separated? But I mean, unless people want to be in their own place on Earth together, like, oh, this is my family, I want to be with only them. Except for that, why would they they did all that, but they still made us 14th Amendment citizens. Like, why? Why Martin Luther King, bro? But they probably had a gun to his head, and he was probably just trying to keep his family fucking safe. So, let's keep going, bro.
I'm with it. I don't even think I mean, to be honest with you, bro, I don't even think we should have been separate. I mean, I don't think we should have been put back together. I think we should have stayed segregated.
Bro.
And I tell people that all the time because just for the simple fact, bro, we was booming as people. We owned more when we were segregated, bro. What do we own now? There's no incentive. At least back then, there was some type of incentive for motherfuckers to own their community.
Brother. The concept is this: you can't own anything if you're a SESTQ trust. If you are a U.S. citizen, if you're born with that document that your parents signed, thinking it was something else, you are now a SESTQ trust. So you don't own yourself. You can't own anything because you are owned by the U.S. corporation, which is owned itself. That's owned. You see what I'm saying? Like, you are a corporation's entity that they made, pretty much an open bank that they made. Your body is just the surety for that bank, so that if you ever do something crazy, monetarily or something, they can hold you in a cell. What's a cell? Door cell, battery. They lock up your energy. See what I'm saying? So, and they hit you with a charge. You see what I'm saying? Like a battery. They put you in a cell and keep your energy locked up. So, here I go. Fictions arise from the law and not law from fictions. So, that's to say this. People made this fake shit. People made that SESTQ trust. People made you have an all capital name, which makes you not a proper noun. That was a fiction that arises from a law. The person is a person. So they just did something, made it a company, and then they operated within that company, and within that company, it can work. However, they cannot make law from that. So none of that shit is law. It was a fiction. It was made from a person, but it's a fiction. So how can that fiction, the United States, make a law or make you? They can't make you a citizen of the United States. You only could be that by your consent, is what that is saying. You see? Because law comes from fictions, fictions come from law, not law from fictions. You see what I'm saying? Only by your consent does it make it. It's not even a law. It's just consent at that point. It never is law. It's only consent. Statutes, codes, ordinances, they might say law, but they're really just doing statutes, code, under code 9411 or under statute this, or the ordinance, city ordinance, or, a noise ordinance, right? Shit like that. Like, this is what they inflict on us. It's never law. It's only fictions from their corporation. That has to pay people. They get paid by you doing wrong and paying off. And if you can't do that, they'll keep your body as the surety for that, charge, quote unquote, to your bank account. It's a charge on your account. Your all capital name, and on your birth certificate there was a number there, a CUSIP number. Now, so by your consent makes it all possible. And it even said in the Dred Scott case, remember, it said that not any part of civilized world embraced the Negro by common consent. Not them all common consenting, like, yeah, fuck those dudes. No, we consent to our role. We consented to our subordinate role. And that's why we consented to them not fucking with us. And you know what we always say? Yeah, they don't fuck with us. Why we say that negative ass shit? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why we say that negative ass shit? They love us, bro. They wear motherfucking LeBron James shit on their back. They wear his name on their back when we used to have their names branded on us. So,
okay, we still get worshipped like gods, bro.
Like gods. So it's like, why would we say that the world don't like so-called black people? The world love so-called black people. They just don't love. It's just that blacks were separated by indelible marks and laws before established and long-standing, and they were never spoken of as anything else but property. So by claiming black, there's that. And so I just told you about the treaties between the various countries, Christian countries, and the Moorish Empire. And that they have to even prove you're not Moorish. Boom. That's in law. So, and here's one more last nail in the coffin, just the one last nail in the coffin to say who we are. If you look like me, if you consider yourself African, right, by any means, this is Congressional Globe, Official Proceedings of Congress, is published by John C. Wise, Washington, D.C., Saturday, 4/9/1864, Section 12. Okay, you want to know what it says?
Sure.
Descendants of Africans cannot be citizens. Period. Damn, bro. Damn. But that was only 5 or 6 years after the Dred Scott shit. So they said it at Dred Scott, and then the dude put it on a Congressional Globe, Proceedings of Congress. You know? So he did that. And then, so that's what it is. That's who you are, that's who I am. Solid. And then if you go into a dictionary, it'll show you that Moor is any dark-skinned person. Especially an African Negro is what it says. Literally, that's the words of the dictionary. Any dark-skinned person, especially an African Negro. So, I'm like, oh, okay, that's what a Moor is? Shit. And then I just read where it says they have to prove you're not Moorish. And then if you're anywhere else, it says residence in foreign parts does not affect the nationality of foreign subjects. Oh, okay. So, there's that. I mean, I want to do like a part where I go into like who, like our names and our titles and calling ourselves like Christian names or our ancient names.
Why you gonna do it then?
I mean, you trying to go into it?
Bro. Let me see something.
Bro, let me say something.
I'm actually gonna have to start getting ready in a second, so.
That's what I'm
We're
saying.
probably gonna have to say that for another one.
I'll do that on 103 or something. Episode 3.
Yeah.
It just is what it is, brother.
But that's gonna be exciting too, though. Every time we get into these conversations, they are very riveting, bro. Get you juiced up.
Yo, it's this who we are, man. And the more we get into it, the more we can figure out what to do about it. You know, some people are way ahead of that curve. Some people are, just learning this. So there's different steps, and Noble Drew Ali, he knew all the different steps and where everyone is on the parts of the journey to finding out who you are, who I am, and who we are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was one of the ones that everybody learned under. Like, he was one of the first people that motherfuckers rocked with, and then they learned about people that Malcolm X studied under. They all studied under this damn same dude, Drew Ali. So it's like, damn, why ain't nobody talking about him? So,
when people talk about him, bro, it's just that when people do talk about him, it's in such close quarters, like not too many people know.
Yeah, what's that word? It's like some esoteric corners and shit that only know about him and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like real clandestine.
The Jamaicans, they know about him heavy, bro.
Yeah, like.
But you know what I'm saying? A lot of Christian motherfuckers know about him too, though.
Oh yeah, the Christians definitely know about the kid. Like, you gotta know about Noble Drew Ali if you doing the pastor shit, because you can't let the black people know that they are Moors, because then they'll know that they can't be Christians, because Christians are the oppressors, not the God of Christians.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about that whole council that set out for the Crusades to take over the whole the rest of the earth.
Yeah, bro. They like motherfucking cousins, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Spanish and the English motherfuckers all right under the Christianity shit, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just one believe in Jesus and the other believe in the vessel that Jesus came through.
Right. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying? That was a hard thing for me to wrap my mind around when I was a kid. I'm like, bro, for this is Christianity, it seems like, but you call this one Catholic. But why?
Yeah.
Because you worship the vessel that the God came through. You know what I'm saying?
But that's
you know why
they worship.
And that's kind of crazy, bro, because it's like they worship the yoni, bro.
Exactly. They have to
realize
because that's what true religion is. What is religion? A legion is what? Connection. Something sucking on to you, right? I'm about to look it up. Legion meaning.
Legion is a lot. Many.
All right. It's a vast host. All right. So, if it's a vast.
But usually, when they refer to Legion, a lot of times they refer to it's a demon called Legion, bro. There's so many of them motherfuckers. You know, one they can go on. It's so many demons that make Legion, bro. It's a lot of demons.
Like when I think of Legion, I think of something sucking on to you, or like a host, something attaching to a host. You see? So if it's something attaching to a host, you know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about religion being us attaching back to the source, and the woman is the source of life. And how do we attach to her? We,
make love to her, bro.
Yeah, we gotta stick it up in that thing.
He was a fucking freak, bro. I knew you was gonna go there. He was a freaky motherfucker. we like little kids, bro.
We gotta attach on is what I'm saying. Or they attach on to us. Shit, I don't know. Like if you want to think of it like that, they the ones that engulf us with the yoni.
Yeah, bro. The man eater.
You dumb. Yeah, they the man eaters, right? And that's some legion shit, religion. Back to the yoni. So it's like, all right, of course they got the lady, the Mary up there. So that is what it is.
But how do you pay homage to the woman like that, right? But the Catholics and the Christians was the main motherfuckers burning motherfucking witches. How does that work?
They was burning our women. The Catholics they worship the woman, Jesus' mother, but they don't fuck with our women because our women are the living Christ. They give life to Christ. They the living her. The woman that they worship, oh yeah, we got them. We got a lot of them. And that dude that came out of her, yeah, we got a lot of them too. So they had to kill all the witches so that they don't give earth. I don't say birth, so that they don't give earth to. You see what I'm saying? Christ consciousness in the flesh. Again. And they were afraid of another black Messiah, so-called. We were the slaves, so they called us black at that point. But they were afraid of a black Messiah. Another one, because that dude Yeshua Ben Yahusha or whatever his name is, he had skin like grass and hair like wool. So yeah, brother.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. I think that that's gonna conclude today's segment. It was segment,
bro.
It was a good one, and it was very cut and dry. Like we read from law, and all those laws. Let me say this before we dip. It's called stare decisis. Stare decisis is a type of law that has been decided on. It's already been decided. And what is stare something? When you stare at something, you're looking fixedly at it. You see? So when you you are looking fixely at something that's already been decided, you basically are saying, hey, this thing has already been adjudicated on, and, you know, so that's how we know things that this is already law. Like, it's called stare decisis. To stand by decided cases, period. To maintain former adjudications, period. Alright? So that's what we just looked at. We just standed by decided cases right there. Stare decisis. So boom, that's that. We out of here.